We are starting with this breaking news. Crews have stopped the forward rate of spread on this new fire in Los Angeles.
Evacuation warnings were lifted overnight for the fire in the Sepulveda Basin. It started around 11 last night near the northbound lanes of the 405 freeway in Sherman Oaks, and it burned about 40 acres. And the fire danger for San Diego is not over yet. So glad you're with us here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampur. We do want to take a look at this weather impact alert. Red flag warning again until tomorrow at 10 a.m. Relative humidity right now is at 5% for many areas. We are already seeing strong wind gusts in places like Alpine, up to 60 miles an hour. Same with Sill Hill, 60 to 80 mile per hour winds in your forecast, which is why we have now gone from a high wind watch to a high wind warning. It has officially started 6 this morning until 6 this afternoon. So dry, windy day, windier than what we had yesterday.
Crews fighting the Hughes fire in LA County north of Santa Clarita, not being helped by those winds. It started yesterday morning near Castaic Lake. It is now more than 10,000 acres. It is 14% contained. Right now that fire is still threatening homes. More than 50,000 people under evacuation orders. Officials say 4,000 personnel have been sent to battle this fire, and they have a better handle of this fire compared to the Palisades and Eaton fires earlier this month. And here at home, all evacuations are lifted for a fire that burned yesterday in Rancho Bernardo. The center fire broke out west of Interstate 15 near Bernardo Center Drive and Camino del Norte. Flames spread quickly, fueled by strong winds, forcing hundreds to evacuate. Airdrops actually had to stop at one point because someone flew a drone near emergency responders. Crews were able to keep that fire to 7 acres. They still have some fire personnel there at the scene mopping up hot spots this morning.
But so many families are relieved to know that this now contained. Some people who had to evacuate are worried that they will be trapped by fire someday. There were moments of panic through this. They say there's only one way out of a neighborhood, and it was backed up for about a mile.
Yeah, this is in that PQ area. CBS 8's Regina Ureta live along Penasquitos Drive with some of the concerns people are voicing here. Regina.
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Netta, and we're still noticing some gusty winds here in this area, so that's just an indicator of we are not in the clear just yet. We're still in that red flag warning and still dealing with those high winds. In fact, yesterday, residents here in Rancho Bernardo had to deal with those conditions and those fire dangers. They noticed a fast-moving fire actually burning very near to their homes and their community. Now, what you do in those moments is you try to evacuate as safely as possible, but here's what they were met with. You're looking at video of Penasquitos Drive right there. That is the street that is crowded with construction. The road also had a single lane in each direction to get in and out of the community, so that's another problem that they're having to deal with. And it's really not something that you actually want to deal with when you're evacuating from a fire. During yesterday's evacuation, residents tell us the road was backed up for more than 1 mile. The community is now raising evacuation concerns. They say their area is in need of a better infrastructure to safely evacuate during fire dangers. To add to the fire risk, 500 new homes and more than 1,000 apartment units are being built nearby. So here's what residents told us yesterday when they noticed that fire.
There's over 20,000 acres in Black Mountain open space. That's the size of the Palisades fire right now. So 22,000 acres, I think, is what it has burned up there. So we have the potential. The risk is there.
And you're hearing residents, right, some of the frustration that they're having to deal with right now. There is a neighborhood group trying to address the concerns with city leaders, and they're in the process of trying to get some solutions in this area. We'll keep you guys updated with more on some of those solutions that they're coming up with. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you, Eric and Netta.
Regina, thank you for that. And Regina mentioned it, the wind's already starting to pick up a little bit there. Right now, 8,000 SDG&E customers have their power shut off because of this fire danger. More than 74,000 are still at risk. This is the current map. SDG&E says they are working to restore power. And due to the wind and power outages, schools in the Mountain Empire Unified School District and again the Warner Unified School District will be closed today.
Well, U.S. troops are being sent to the border to help crack down on illegal immigration.
A senior military official tells the Associated Press 500 Marines from Camp Pendleton will be part of this deployment. CBS 8's Chris Groh live near the border in San Ysidro with these latest developments and the local impact this will have. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And according to that same source, they deployed as early as yesterday morning, and then we could see additional troops from the Army that could be deployed within the next 24 hours. We heard from President Trump yesterday in a Fox News interview, not only speaking about troops at the border, but also the idea of raids that will occur, sanctuary cities, what to do with them, as well as a concerned community member who's worried about those who are undocumented in the Bay Area.
Trying to end them, and a lot of the people in those communities don't want them. This was a gross miscarriage of common sense to allow people to come in.
What's gonna happen tomorrow when I wake up and take my kid to school? Like, am I gonna meet them ICE there?
All right, so here's the latest on the Trump administration's immigration and border crackdown. Trump has declared a national emergency at the southern border. 1,500 troops will be deployed there to assist Customs and Border Protection as well as Border Patrol. 1,000 Army personnel and those 500 Marines from Camp Pendleton make up that 1,500. They'll be joining 2,500 that are already at the border, and CBS reports that could balloon to 10,000. Also, in a development here, the Department of Homeland Security has formally said that ICE agents will be allowed to go into schools and churches, workplaces, to carry out operations and raids, something that was not done under the Biden administration, seeking to arrest undocumented migrants who many have even been in the community for years paying taxes, but still will be a part of this operation to be deployed. Now, the other thing that is happening here, birthright citizenship, in which President Trump signed an executive order to end. That is something that is enshrined in the 14th Amendment. Many legal scholars have questioned whether or not this executive order could actually end birthright citizenship. We do know it's being challenged by at least 20 states. There will be a formal hearing for 4 of those states in Seattle today in federal court. Eric and Netta.
Our Chris Grow reporting for us. Thank you, Chris. Okay, all eyes on the winds we have here today, and then the rain we're going to be getting this weekend.
Yeah, believe it or not, yesterday was the day of the break. We were supposed to get calmer winds in between Santa Ana wind events. So today, those Santa Ana winds are picking up, and we're seeing that right here in our fire risk model here. So this takes into account the winds, how dry the air is, our dry vegetation, and then the temperatures. So as you'll notice, by 10, 11 o'clock this morning, our fire risk becomes more widespread, even going all the way to the coastline. So it's not just the mountains. I have not seen red like this in quite some time. So we're seeing repeated Santa Ana winds events really drying things out, which is why all of San Diego County, except for a few spots, seem to have that red high fire risk all the way through tonight, 8, 9 o'clock. Then we start to see more of the yellows, the lighter oranges, an improvement in our wind conditions. Gusts are going to be high. Right now, these are our current gusts. Ramona 32 just picked up for you there. Sill Hill now also up to 65, 61 in Alpine. Julian 29. We're seeing these gusts really increasing minute by minute each time I check in on these current conditions. Now, over the next few hours, we'll continue to notice more of a widespread wind event. So not just limited to the mountains, to the foothills, but then you'll notice Del Mar winds picking up to 30, 34 in Escondido, 45 in Fallbrook. That's by this afternoon. So I would say about 11 o'clock through about 4 p.m., that's when our next stronger wind gusts will continue through. And then by tonight, tomorrow morning, things will certainly improve. This means we will be very dry. Relative humidity right now is at 5%. We're going to see these numbers drop to 3%, 4%, even in Del Mar. So along the coast, Oceanside, downtown, your numbers are moving down. Right now, you're waking up to 62 in Mira Mesa, 58 Del Mar, 43 downtown. Look at these afternoon highs. It's going to feel pretty warm out there. Fallbrook all the way up to 81, 79 Vista, 75 Poway, 79 in Miramar. This will be the warmest day of this week, the warmest of these Santa Ana winds, 82 in El Cajon. Now, here's a check of traffic. We do have quite a few incidents to let you know about. Unfortunately, a few crashes as I'm checking in on these maps. We'll get to some of them, as many as we can in this time. But here's one that does look to be slowing people down on the 125 southbound side before San Miguel Ranch Road. The number 1 lane is blocked, There's a crash on 4th Avenue at Kearney Street. That's in Chula Vista area. And then going up north at 805, 1 lane is blocked on the northbound side right at the 8 where it comes together. And now a quick check check of this crash right there on the 8 westbound at Dunbar Lane, Lake Jennings Park Road. That does not seem to be slowing people down, but it is on the westbound side. Border wait times, checking in on this. The port of entry, San Ysidro, showing 60 minutes to get through. Same with Otay Mesa's port of entry. Eric?